Shai, right? Another double honors and praises due to Yahweh Shai, right? The Lord brought us together on another mighty Shabbat, right? Today's lesson is hygiene in the scriptures. All right, we're bringing out a plethora of precepts, scriptures that touch on the washing yourself physically, spiritually, right? We need one reader. All right, we're going to start off with John chapter 15, verse 3. Now, you have a lot of cleaning agents. You got detergent, you got soap, you got nitrate. You know, all these precepts are going to fly out, all right? But you got the best cleaning agent of all, which is the Word. All right, now you can sin all day, but, you know, Dove, soap, Irish Springs, they ain't going to really clean, if you understand what I'm saying. Not even on a spiritual level. On a physical level, perhaps, but on a spiritual level, in the eyes of the Lord, it won't do too much. All right, so we can start off with John chapter 15, verse 3.
All right, the mic.
Now you read next to me. Trumpet voice.
Oh, God. That mic broke. You said John?
John chapter 15, verse 3.
It's the book of John, chapters 15 and verse 3. And it says this. All right. And it says, now you are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. Abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine.
That's plain, but we're going to read it one more time. You might read it just a little bit slower.
I got you.
We're going to break this down and roast it,
Right.
word by word.
So it says in John chapters 15 and verse 3, now you are clean through the word.
Right, we're clean through the word.
Right.
It's not the word of Islam. It's not the word of Buddhism. It's the word of the scriptures, word of God. All right, this is the only thing that's going to make us clean. Go ahead.
Which I have spoken unto you. Abide in me, and I in you.
Right, we have to abide in the Lord. If we abide in the Lord, he's going to abide in us. Right, he's knocking all day long. He's the one that knocks. Right, and once you let him in, you're going to become clean because he's going to sup with you. It's deep, it's beautiful. All right, go ahead.
And it says, as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine. No more can ye, except ye abide in me.
That's right. You can't do nothing without the Lord. I got one more. You can bring out Ephesians 5 and 26. And when you come to the Lord, you have to prepare yourself. You have to make yourself good before the eyes of God.
This is the book of Ephesians, chapters 5 and verse 26.
You got to wash your feet. You got to change your garment. There's a whole protocol that you have to do before coming to the Lord. He desires that you be clean, refined. Go ahead.
That's right.
If you smelling like a heathen or another nation, the Lord's done. He's doing away with you. He's not dealing with you. And he can smell that. He can smell that paganism on you. He can smell that pride on you. He smells it. Go ahead.
Ephesians chapters 5 and verse 26. That he may sanctify and cleanse it.
That he may what?
That he may sanctify and cleanse it.
Sanctify means to make holy, set apart. Go ahead.
With the washing of water by the word.
Washing of water by the word. So, you know, if you reek of Islam or if you reek of any other doctrine or idolatry, and you're gonna release that odor. It's gonna smell. And brother, smell it. Brother, you gotta move it different. Kind of smelling like a heathen. Go ahead.
And it says in verse 27, that he might present it to himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle.
That's how you gotta be. Even your garments, no spot, no wrinkle. I mean, if you go to the Passover or New Moon or Mighty Feast, you got wrinkles all in your garment. You don't really care about this thing. You don't care about yourself. You don't care what the Lord thinks of you. Because you got all these garments and all these wrinkles and spots on you. You're looking dirty and dusty, you know? Go ahead.
Or any such thing. But that it should be a holy, and it says, but that it should be holy and without blemish.
That's right. We have to be without blemish. We have to hate that spot. All right? You can bring that out in Jude 1 and 20.
Jude 1 and 20.
I mean, if I have a hole in my garment, I will hope Malachi Kabash says something. I will hope another brother say something. Your brother got a hole in your shoe. But, ooh, cover yourself up. Go ahead.
You said 1 and 21.
Yeah.
This is the book of Jude, chapters 1 and verse 21. Keep yourselves in the love of Yahweh,
Right.
looking for the mercy of the Lord Yahweh Shah Mashiach unto eternal life. And if some have compassion, making a difference, and others save with fear, pulling them out of the fire, hating even the garment spotted by the flesh.
Brother, you got a big ass hole in the back of your shirt. Cover up. That's how you have to move in the spirit. You know? I had one more, I lost my thought, but you got it.
Right, get the book of Genesis, chapter 35 and verse 2. Right, so the brother bringing it out, man. You got to change your garment. You got to wash you and make you clean. Right, on the spiritual level, but also on the physical level. Right, a lot of people don't wash up, man. Right, that's a lot of the customs of the heathen nations. Matter of fact, give me Jeremiah chapter 10 and verse 2. Right, because the heathen, they don't wash up. You got certain heathen that don't believe in putting on the deodorant, man.
See that?
Right, they don't believe in washing themselves, man. Right, and that's the custom of the nations. Right, us as Israelites, we're clean. Right, we like washing ourselves. We like different spices and fumes. Right, and things of that nature. Bring this out, Cain. Jeremiah 10 and 2.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapters 10 and verse 2.
Right.
Thus said the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen.
What the Lord say?
Learn not the way of the
You
heathen.
can't learn the way of the nations, man. Hey, certain nations, they be kind of funky, man. Right? You got the East Indians, they walk past, you like, what the hell? Right? They kind of hit your nose different, man. You know? They smell like damn must, man. And you know, all hell, man.
See that?
Yeah, must, curry, and all hell, man. That's what they smell like. Right? But us as the Israelites, we got to wash ourselves. We got to clean. Right? You got to clean every day, man. You got to wash yourself every day. You know what I'm saying? You know, comb your hair out. You know what I'm saying? Put some nice oils on your beard. Right? Put some nice smell goods on. Whether that's oil or cologne. Whatever the case may be, man. But you got to conduct yourself like that. You got to be... That's part of being righteous too, man.
That's right.
Right? Ain't no righteous man just kind of walking around here just musty, man. You know, never take showers. You going against the scriptures, brother. You got to wash up, man. You got it, Cain.
And it says, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them.
That's it on that. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 18 and verse 10.
Come on. You still want the Genesis 35 and 2?
Yeah, behold that.
I got you. You said Deuteronomy.
Chapter 18 and verse 10. Another precept on not following after the ways of the nations.
Come on. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapters 18 and verse 10.
Right?
There shall not be found among you any one that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or that useth divination, or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch.
Right? So that's what these Hamites were into, man. They was observing times, right? All into wicked sacrifices. Right, all type of odious works of witchcraft, right? Drinking blood, right? Drinking cow dung, right? And that's what these Hamites are into today. Check it out, man. Damn. You got ham and cheese doing all kind of wickedness, man. Drinking blood. Look at his skin, man. Your skin shouldn't look like that, man. Those are what they call lacerations. You know, so the nations are freaked out.
He got a haircut, man.
And drinking blood is unhealthy, man. That's wicked, man. You never know what's in somebody's blood. It could be a type of sickness, a disease, HIV, AIDS. You know? Look at this, man. So you got the nations, they drinking, they getting the pee from the cow.
They wash themselves in that.
Right? So this creates all type of sicknesses and diseases. This is why we behoove our people to wash yourself.
Right there.
Look at this, man.
Bathing in cow urine.
See that? It smell kind of going about.
All right. Keep reading.
And it says Deuteronomy chapters 18 and verse 11. It says, or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer. For all that do those things are an abomination unto the Most High.
What?
Are an abomination unto the Most High.
So these Hamites are an abomination to the Heavenly Father, right? Because we see the works of these Hamites. We see the nastiness and the odiousness that they're into, right? And they're an abomination to the Heavenly Father. One more precept. Give me Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12 and verse 3. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12 and verse 3, right? So us as Israelites, we can't partake in these ways, right? For the most part, Israel is a clean nation, but you do have dirty people within the nation of Israel, man. They don't wash themselves. They don't bathe. They freaking off. All kind of wickedness.
13.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12 and verse 3.
God. This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12 and verse 3. And it says, "For it was thy will to destroy by the hands of our fathers, both those old inhabitants of thy holy land."
Keep that up. Both the old inhabitants of the Holy Land. Who are the old inhabitants of the Holy Land? The Canaanites, the Hamites. Read on.
And it says at verse 4, "Whom thou hatest,
Whom thou what?
whom thou hatest."
So the Lord said he hated them. God hates the Hamites and the other nations. Read on.
"For doing most odious works of witchcraft."
For doing most odious works of witchcraft. Real quick,
Trying to make it bigger.
it say doing most odious works of witchcraft. What does that word odious mean? Right, so when you look up that word odious, it means extremely unpleasant, repulsive, repellent, disgusting, vile, foul, abhorrent, nauseating, sickening, detestable, abominable, monstrous, reprehensible, insufferable, despicable, unspeakable, poisonous, gruesome. Hey, and the list goes on and on, man. So that's what these Hamites were into. Gruesome acts. Drinking blood. Dealing with, hey, man, just folly, man. I don't even want to, you know what I'm saying? All kind of witchcraft and nastiness. Keep reading. I don't even want to damn
And it
say
says at verse 4, "Whom thou hatest for doing most odious works of witchcrafts and wicked sacrifices."
And what?
And wicked sacrifices.
So they was doing sacrifices, man. Right? Wicked sacrifices. Right? And when we did our righteous sacrifices, you best believe we cleaned up the temple, man. You best believe we had everything in order. You know, it was ran in order. We cleaned up, things of that nature. We had temple servants that would do the cleaning. When they was doing their sacrifices, they would leave the blood everywhere, the damn stink, you know what I'm saying, the nastiness, the animal parts, the bones, and that creates diseases, diseases and sickness. You understand? Keep reading.
Verse 5, and it says, "And also those merciless murderers of children and devourers of men's flesh."
So they was eating man's flesh. I mean, come on, that's just wicked, man. You eating man's flesh. Man has all kind of diseases and sicknesses and spirits on him. So you eating man's flesh, man. Hey, you got 1,000 demons on you.
Right.
Yep.
Keep reading.
"And the feast of blood."
And the what?
"And the feast of blood."
And that's wicked, man. The Lord said we can't eat blood. That's in Leviticus 17 and 11. Read on.
And it says in verse 6, "With their priests out of the midst of their idolatrous crew, and the parents that killed with their own hands, souls destitute of help."
Right, so the point is, these Hamites and these other nations, they're odious. Right, we got it pulled up. It say, similarly, Indians don't use deodorant because of, but not limited to, the following reasons. They are Swadeshi who don't want to consume Western products. The general belief is that deodorants are harsh skin and cause allergies. Right, so they winging it, man. Give me Sirach 32 and 17. Simple man will not be reproved. They finding an excuse, man. Oh, I don't want to use deodorant because my skin, it might cause allergies. No, you just want to be stinky, man. Bring this up.
This is the book of Sirach, chapters 32 and verse
Because
17.
real quick, it's different types of deodorant. Yeah, I got to put that out there. You got natural deodorants, man. Clean deodorant. You can make your own deodorant.
And they used to make deodorant in the ancient world too, so they don't have to consume a Western product. They can make their own damn deodorant.
Right. There's no excuse. Yeah, bring this up.
This is Sirach, chapters 32 and verse 17. "A simple man will not be reproved."
Right, so these East Indians, these Elams, they would not be reproved. Read on.
"But findeth an excuse according to his will."
But they find excuses according to their allergies. I don't want to consume Western products. And no, man, you gotta wash yourself. You gotta clean. You gotta put on deodorant.
That's right.
Hey, all hell will break loose. You don't put on deodorant, man. You kind of forget about it. All hell will break loose, especially in the summertime.
Yeah.
You jammed up. You know, keep reading.
And it says in verse 18, a man of counsel will be considerate.
That's it on that. Right. So get real quick, get Genesis 35 and 2. Start at verse 1. Because again, Jacob, our forefathers, they cleaned themselves.
Right.
You best believe King David cleaned himself.
Right.
You know, King Solomon.
Yeah, pools.
Yeah.
See that?
Yeah, man. You know, keep reading.
It's the book of Genesis, chapters 35 and verse 1. And Yahweh said unto Jacob, arise, go up to Bethel, and dwell there,
Right.
and make there an altar unto the Most High, right, that appeared unto thee when thou fleddest from the face of Esau thy brother. Then Jacob said unto his household, and to all that were with him, put away the strange gods that are among you.
So you got to put away the strange gods that are among you, right? Even spiritually, you have to be clean. How do you be clean? By putting away these strange gods, by repenting, by keeping the commandments, by having the faith. That's how you be clean spiritually, right? So Jacob told his household, told his woman, hey, put away these strange gods that are among you. Read on.
And be clean.
And do what?
And be clean.
No, be dirty.
And be clean.
And be clean, right? Let's look up clean. What does clean mean? All right, look up that word clean, brother. It says, free from dirt or pollution, free from contamination or disease. Right? Unadulterated, pure. Right? So that's how the Heavenly Father wants us to be. He wants us to be free from dirt, marks, or stains. Right? Because our garments have to be white, man. When you go into a wedding, you don't want to go to a wedding with a stained up garment. Right? You got damn mustard stains on it. You know, goddamn dirt. You know what I'm saying? Got wine all over your garment. You look a mess. They gonna tell you go home, brother. Right?
Put a white boy with Vans.
Yeah.
White. You see what I'm saying? Like, why are you walking around with this dirty shoes, man?
Bro,
That's how Esau be.
This don't make
Come
no
on,
sense, man.
You didn't cook the ones.
Who does that, man?
Ugh.
And then eating by your feet, they always dirty, man, at the bottom.
Bottom of that shit look like tar.
Like, that's
Hey,
madness, man.
that's actually a style over in Europe and the UK, like just distressed shoes.
Yeah,
they come like that.
that's a style.
That's how Esau wear their shoes. That's off.
I got a preset.
Like you said, why would you go to a wedding
Hold on, brother.
kind of with a stained garment, man? But Esau do that, man. Right? See that?
So,
It's wicked, man.
I just,
Right. because when they was in them, yeah, this is folly, right? We actually seen the damn Edomite woman walking downtown
You gotta pour this
campus
up.
marshes with no damn shoes on and no socks, barefoot, man. That's a demon. Right.
Was that recent?
It's pretty recent.
And it's cold outside.
This is pretty recent, man. You know, so that's kind of sick.
They wearing shorts in school.
Video just all real
God,
We might have to
gotta bring up this precept real quick.
History is
What did he search?
1 in verse 17.
History of Susanna 1 and 17. Then we're gonna go back to my precept.
Why don't? And he just use deodorant.
So the precept is like
Let's see if you scroll
You
down.
give him 2 new. You said 1 and 17?
1 in 17.
Okay. This is the book of the history of Susanna, chapters 1 and verse 17. And it says, then she said to her maids, bring me oil and
Our ancient fathers, we had oil. Just like we got lotion
Should
today,
say,
they had
yeah.
oil. In the ancient world, you continue game.
Yeah, and there's different types of oil. You got argan oil, right? You got olive oil, right? You got coconut oil, right? You got castor oil,
tea tree oil.
tea tree oil. You know what I'm saying?
Got apothecaries.
Yeah, man.
They literally create
Oil.
perfumes. That's a job in ancient world.
You got
Frankincense, myrrh.
Dictionary.
Okay.
The brothers gotta get hit to that argan oil, man.
Yeah.
You know, precepts too. Bring this up.
This is the book of history of Susanna, chapters 1 and verse 17 again. It says, then she said to her maids, bring me oil and washing balls and shut the garden doors that I may wash me.
See that? So our women wash themselves. man.
Washing bars, they had soap bars.
Yeah, a lot of these women don't wash themselves no more, man. You know? There's one woman, I think her name was B. Simone, man.
Oh yeah,
She said she don't wash, man. She said I can go like 5 days without it. What are you talking about, man? And then she think that's cute, man.
That's funk, man.
She think that's cute. She thinks that's her living. That's her doing her thing.
That's when they be into that spirituality nation.
Yeah, that's folly, man. No man wants that, man.
Yeah.
That's funky right there.
It don't matter how beautiful you are. If you don't wash yourself, no man wants you, man.
It's over with.
You got it, brother. So the point is, Susanna, she had washing balls. You understand? She washed herself. She did her thing. She cleaned herself as a woman. Right? You got it. There's more than that.
Genesis 35.
Yeah.
No, that was it on that.
Yeah.
Or is it more?
No, that's it.
God, I wanted to let me back off what the brother brought out with the these wicked damn priests of these other nations. They wouldn't wash the temple, right? But get Numbers 19. Get Numbers 19 and just start at 6. Because that's what our priests, they had to clean themselves, man. Right? The Lord wasn't dealing with that. Right, because on the spiritual level, we the priests, so that's why we got to wash ourselves with the word and then put on our garment. That's exactly what the priests had to do. They had to wash themselves and then go into the temple and do the work. Right, but bring that up.
This is the book of Numbers, chapters 19 and verse 6.
Right?
And the priest shall take cedar wood and hyssop and scarlet and cast it into the midst of the burning of the heifer.
Right, this is when they're burning, burnt offering, right? Keep reading.
Then the priest shall wash his clothes.
Then the what?
Then the priest shall wash his clothes.
Read on.
He shall bathe his flesh in water.
And he shall bathe his flesh in water, right? Keep reading.
And afterward he shall come into the camp. And the priest shall be unclean until the evening.
Right, so he's unclean because he just dealt with cutting up and dealing with this animal. Right, because that's an unclean act. Right, you would be unclean, for laying the animal. Right, keep reading.
It says in verse 8, and he that burneth her shall wash his clothes in water.
Right, and the man that burnt her, he got to wash his clothes as well, read.
And bathe his flesh in water, and shall be unclean until the evening.
Right, keep reading.
And a man that is clean shall gather up the ashes of the heifer, and lay them up without the camp in a clean place.
Right, so they had cleaned up behind themselves. They wouldn't just leave ashes and blood and all that madness at the temple, man. They kind of cleaned up the ashes and threw them out. Right, that's the spirit that our priest was moving in. It's 2 Corinthians, right, chapter 2, verse 4. Or it's like your 2 Chronicles, chapter 2. Or it's like your 2 Chronicles, chapter 4 and verse 2. Right?
This is the book of the 2 Chronicles, right, chapters 4 and verse 2. Also he made a molten sea.
He made a molten sea. This is a big bath, right? Pull up the image. Pull up Solomon's temple. Type in bath, maybe. Solomon's temple bath. Let's see if that. Matter of fact, there it is right there. I'll open that up. Right, this is what we're reading about right here. This is the molten sea that they will wash themselves in. Right, and they also had different lavers all throughout the temple as well. Right, keep reading.
Verse 2, it says, also he made a molten sea of 10 cubits from brim to brim, round and compassed, and 5 cubits the height thereof, and a line of 30 cubits did compass it round about.
You see that? So this is him making this sea, right? Keep reading.
And under it was the similitude of oxen.
Right, that's what it's right there. It's got the oxen under it, right? Keep reading.
Which did compass round about. 10 in a cubit compassing the sea round about. 2 rows of oxen were cast when it was cast.
Right, and then it's telling you how it's 12 oxen. You got ones looking left, right, up, down, right? But nonetheless, that's the bath that the priest would use. Right, give me Exodus chapter 30, verse 19. Right, so the priests would clean themselves, man. Right, they just wasn't in there just doing whatever the hell.
That's wicked.
Start at 17.
I got you. This is the book of Exodus, chapters 30 and verse 17. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, thou shalt also make a lever of brass, and his foot also of brass, to wash withal.
Right, to wash withal. So they made these different levers so the priests could wash themselves. Right, because you have to wash yourself when you're doing these different tasks. Right, keep reading.
And thou shalt put it between the tabernacle of the congregation and the altar, and thou shalt put water therein.
Right.
For Aaron and his sons shall wash their hands and their feet thereat.
All right, keep reading.
When they go into the tabernacle of the congregation, they shall wash with water, that they die not.
That they what?
That they die not.
Right, so it wasn't optional, man. They would literally get put to death for not washing not washing their ass, man. You got to go and do the work of the Lord, but you smelling, man. Right, you got to wash your hands, wash your feet, kind of change your garment. You got to get in there, man. Right, keep reading.
Or when they come near to the altar to minister, to burn offering made by fire unto the Lord.
Right, they got to wash their hands and their feet, so that's it on that. So the temple actually had a bath in it. You think the Greeks had a bath in their temple, man? No, man. You think the Canaanites, they was washing their clothes? They was in there drinking blood, man, doing all kind of madness. But our priests, they was in order. They had to wash themselves, and they had to do their thing, man. Right, and then there's multiple precepts we can pull to show what being unclean is. Right, so with that I yield.
God, give me the book of the precept game. God, bring it out. And I can grab mine.
Example of being unclean.
The book of 2 Samuel 13
You said 13 and 26?
14.
14.
Bring it out.
This is the book of 2 Samuel, chapters 14 and verse 26. And it says thus, and when he had pulled his head, for it was at every year's end that he pulled it, because the hair was heavy on him, therefore he pulled it.
He did what?
Therefore he pulled it.
He pulled his hair, meaning he cut it, man. Right? Keep reading.
He weighed the hair of his head at 200 shekels after the king's weight. And unto Absalom there were born 3 sons and 1 daughter, whose name was Tamar.
All right, that's it on that.
So you can get a shape of it.
That's right. Yeah, you can get a shape up. You can kind of cut your hair. You can do your thing, man. Just don't cut it bald, man. Right?
And I Jeremiah 2 and 22.
Jeremiah 2 and 22. God.
2 and 22.
Yeah, everybody don't have to have Samson locks, man. You can kind of cut your hair, get a little fro. You know what I'm saying? Right? Again, just don't cut it bald. Right? That's against the Lord. But you can cut it. You can shape it up. You know what I'm saying? You can look and you can appear as a king in this thing, man. Right? You don't gotta have that wild look. You got it, brother.
This is Jeremiah chapters 2 and verse 22. For though thou wash thee with nitre, and take thee much soap, yet thine iniquity is marked before thee, saith the Lord God.
God, you looked it up.
So we had nature in the ancient days.
God.
But that's going to, it's double fold. So, the Lord's going to wash our sins away, ultimately, but he also has soap as well.
That's true.
Yeah, neater.
Yeah.
That's right. Right, so we got neater or nitre poured up. Foam of neater. It says a term which translates as foam of niter was a regular purchase in the 4th century AD. Series of financial accounts, and since it was expressed as being for the baths, was probably used as soap. Right, so this was used as soap, right?
I've seen it in here. I want to pull it.
Handmade soap.
Yeah, I want to see what it says here in the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. It says neater, right, or nitre, not the same as our present neater, but an impure mixture of washing and baking soda found in deposits according to the alkali lake of Egypt used to make soap.
That's right. So it gets all that dust and that dirt off, man. Right, it's like a deep cleaning product. So give me Esther chapter 2 and verse. Give me verse 11. Esther chapter 2 and verse 11.
Okay. This is the book of Esther, chapters 2 and verse 11. And Mordecai walked every day before the court of the woman's house to know how Esther did, and it says, and what should become of her.
Right, because he was chosen to be the queen. You got it.
Now when every maid's turn was come to go in into Azarus, it says, after that she had been 12 months, according to the manner of the woman. For so were the days of their purifications
It
accomplished.
say, so were the days of their purifications accomplished, man. So even women had to be purified, right? Read on.
To wit, 6 months with oil of myrrh,
It say 6 months with oil of myrrh. Read on.
and 6 months with sweet odors, and with other things for purifying of the woman.
For the what?
For purifying of the woman.
For the purifying of the woman, right? So she could be to the king like him, man. Right? So women purified themselves. They bathed in oils and myrrh and spices, right? So they could be fully purified, man. No uncleanness within them, right? And that's how you should want your woman to be, man. Clean, pure, smelling good, right? That's a beautiful thing. Keep reading.
And it says in verse 13, Then thus came every maid unto the king. Whatsoever she desired was given her to go with her out of the house of the woman unto the king's house.
All right, read on.
And the evening she went, and on the morning, it says, and on the morrow, Salakia, and on the morrow she returned into the second house of the woman to the custody of Shashgaz, right, the king's chamberlain, which kept the concubines. She came in unto the king no more, except the king delighted in her, and that she were called by name.
Right, so that's it on that. The point is they had to purify themselves for a period of 12 months. Right? It's a year of purification. Right? Bathing in spices, oils, getting clean, smelling good.
Another precept for the sisters. Yeah, Judith chapter 10. Judith chapter 10. You can start at verse number 2. Oh. Judith 10 and 2.
You said 10 to 2. This is the book of Judith, chapters 10 and verse 2. She rose where she had fallen down and called her maid and went down into the house in the which she abode in the Sabbath days and in her feast days. And she pulled off the sackcloth which she had on and put off the garments of her widowhood. And she washed her body all over with water.
She did what?
And she washed her body all over with water.
Right, so she washed herself, man. Right, all over, man. Right, kind of missing spots in this thing, man. You gotta wash your whole body, man. Right, you know what I'm saying? Right, keep reading.
And anointed herself with precious ointment.
And she anointed herself with precious ointment. You know, you get out the shower, you kind of, put that ointment on, man. Right, so she wasn't ashy, man. Right, brother, you can't be ashy all the time, man. Put some lotion on, brother. Right, keep reading.
Right.
And braided the hair of her head and put on a tire upon it.
Right, so she kind of braided her hair, kind of put the hair wrap on, man.
That's fine.
Right, so, bro, you kind of put lotion on, man. You kind of comb, brush your hair, brother. Whatever the case may be. Right, keep reading.
And put on her garments of gladness, wherewith she was clad during the life of Manasseh, her husband.
You see that? And you can put on some fresh garments. You ain't always got to be dusty, man. All because you're in the truth don't mean you just got to be a dusty, mean brother. Right? All day long, you just got the roughest looking beard. Right? You just always looking mad, man. You wear just a garment made out of,
Sackcloth.
yeah, out of sackcloth all day and say, I'm in mourning. Wait till your house I get back. Man, brother, put on a nice garment, brother. Right, brother, put on a garment, brother. Wash your face, brother. Right? And Christ even said, hey, wash your face when you fasting, man. Right, get that in Matthew 6. Right, real quick. I want to get this, then you can get your precept. Matthew 6 and 16.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 6 and verse 16.
Right?
Moreover, when ye fast, be not as the hypocrites of a sad countenance, for they disfigure their faces, that they may appear unto men to fast.
Right, so they walk around with the biggest thing of ash on their damn head just in public in sackcloth, walking around like, yeah, I'm fasting, man. So, I'm fasting. They're like, damn, why you looking so down? I'm just fasting, man. I've been fasting for 4 days straight, man. Man, just trying to show off, man. Right, keep reading.
Verily I say unto you, they have their reward.
Right.
But thou, when thou fastest, anoint thine head and wash thy face.
He said, anoint your head. Put some down, brother. Why you got so much dandruff, brother? Anoint your head, man. Right, anoint your head. Right, wash your face. Gotta get in there, man. Right, so hygiene is all throughout the Bible. It's deeper than Esau bowing down and the nations going to slavery. Right, it's deeper than fire and brimstone hitting America. It's practicality, however you say it. Practicality in the scriptures.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah, you gotta wash your children as well. You know what I'm saying? Change their pampers. You let them go a day without changing their pamper, man. Yeah, that's wicked.
That's a diaper. Esau say you ain't supposed to like wash your kids up
Yeah, I seen that.
for a certain like once a month when they at certain age. Like, hold up, man.
Yeah, it was like a clip.
Like, what do you
wash
mean?
my child. Well, your mind ain't right.
That's off.
Your mind ain't right.
They got less sensitive skin, but not washing them at all is just wicked.
That's weird. Now when they like newborns, you don't want to damn wash them every day because
That's what I'm saying,
they
yeah.
dry out their skin. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, when your child get to that age, you gotta wash your child consistently.
Have to.
You know what I'm saying? You got it.
I had a link.
But I was saying they were saying newborn. No, they're not even newborns. It was like a 2, 3, 4-year-old.
Well, that's
They kind of wasn't washing them. I was like, hold up, man. What you mean once a month, huh?
once a month.
A 2-year-old? Oh hell, be breaking loose with 2-year-olds.
You gotta make sure you brushing their teeth. You
Yeah,
know
they
what I'm
gotta brush
saying?
their
They got
teeth too. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta brush
Floss.
your teeth. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta look, man. Take care of your children, man. You know, Esau
He had a
don't know about
preset
that.
too. Yeah, Esau off.
I can probably find it.
Genesis 43 and 31.
Genesis 43 and 31.
Through 32.
This is the book of Genesis, chapters 43 and verse 31. And he washed his face and went out and refrained himself and said, set on bread.
So our forefathers,
Pull this up.
What with it?
our forefathers, Joseph, he washed his face before he ate. You know,
That's right.
wash your face in the morning. Right. First doing that.
Verse 32. And they sat on for him by himself, and for them by themselves, for the Egyptians, which did eat with them by themselves.
Right.
Okay, there, man.
Right.
You know, see the heat was the Egyptians that stink. And we the Hebrews, we smell good.
Right.
Right? That's why we ain't eat with them. You got it.
And it says, because the Egyptians might not eat bread with the Hebrews, for that it is an abomination unto the Egyptians.
So it should be an abomination to you not to wash yourself.
Yeah, that's folly, man.
That's right.
That's wicked. Even when you was a child, man, you know, as an Israelite, yeah, it should be in your spirit to take showers, man.
Kind of play some music.
They say I used to take down 3 damn showers a day, man, when I was younger. 3 damn showers,
Be doing a
man.
lot, man, as a kid too.
Yeah. So you gotta have that spirit of just taking showers and being clean and washing yourself.
Hey, women like that, man.
Yeah, women like that,
Right.
man. You know what I'm saying? Get clean.
That's right there,
Yeah.
They say they notice that before looks.
Hey, so you think Solomon was just going days without washing? He just is winging it. He had lots of women, man.
Solomon had
And then even, oh yeah, we're gonna touch on that. Leviticus 15. Yeah, just get deep for real, man.
Yeah.
You gotta wash yourself after, you know,
Want to see what Esau
after you
said.
do the thing.
Who had a preset?
Look, check this out.
I ain't got a preset, but I got a video on it to present.
I got a preset. I was holding some. But you got this. I got you next.
No, I just wanted to see. I looked up how often should you shower, and Esau said 2 to 3 times a week.
Oh, this is off. What do you mean to this? You gotta shower every day, man.
That's crazy right there. Is showering once a week okay? A daily shower isn't necessary. Mitchell suggested showering or bathing once or twice a week. And experts generally say a few times a week rather than daily is plenty. Also, keep showers short and lukewarm, as too much water, particularly hot water, dries out the skin. It's Esau skin, man.
Look, we using hot water, man. We using hot water. We getting the soap up in that thing. It's steaming. That's how you gotta have it.
You gotta have it hot.
We use towels too, man. We ain't using no hand soap, man. We ain't in
That-
jail,
That's
man.
right.
Yeah, they don't use
Yeah,
towels
they don't use
either,
that.
man.
They don't use hand cloths.
Yeah, Esau, they don't use towels. They just,
If they got some rock up there,
Soap in the hand.
that's how Esau shower.
Job 24 and 8.
Boards anyway.
Nah, you got a precept? Who had a precept?
Yeah, appreciate
Get one.
Come.
Yeah, some points.
You got it. You got a point?
Yeah, I was about to say, back when I was in the army, man, Esau was washing up with head and shoulder shampoo, man. He put it on their body like
Nah.
soap.
You can't do that. No head and shoulder shampoo.
They said if
Washing
you
your body.
hair, it can clean your body.
Yeah, washing with damn
If it clean
hand
your
soap.
hair, it can clean your body.
You wash it with damn hand soap. Brother, get the real soap, man. You know what I'm saying?
You got shampoo, leave-in conditioner.
I saw a video.
Washing it with them.
She saw set up some to get her boyfriend because he don't use the soap. She said, "Why you ain't use the soap? Or why?" Because it was like something under the soap. And he ain't use it. He said, "What?
Bro,
I
that's
use
the
the
video I'm
water."
trying to present.
Wow.
Hey, real quick, water not just gonna clean you, man. Water is not gonna clean. You gotta have soap. You know. So with that, you got the precept.
Bring it up, King.
That's utter.
This is the book of Job, chapters 24, verse 8. And it says, "They are wet with the showers of the mountains,
Right?
and embrace the rocks for want of a shelter.
Go ahead.
They pluck the fatherless from the breast, and take a pledge of the poor."
See? They're nasty. Read verse 8 again slowly, Baba Shah.
God. This is Job chapters 24 and verse 8. "They are wet with the showers of the mountains."
Yeah, they just get wet. They didn't talk about scrubbing. It didn't say nitre. It didn't say soap. They just get wet with the showers, and it is what it is. Go ahead.
And embrace the rock for want of a shelter.
And then they just embrace the rock. That's off. No towel, no soap, no sweet odors. Bring out Songs of Solomon 5 and 5, Baba Shah. God.
That's right.
Utter madness, bro.
You start at verse 3.
Nation's funky, man.
You said 5 and 3.
Yeah, Israel is the cleanest nation on earth.
Bar none.
God. This is the book of Songs of Solomon, chapters 5 and verse 3. "I have put off my coat, how shall I put it on?
Right?
I have washed my feet, how shall I defile them?
And he washed his feet. Go ahead.
My beloved put in his hand by the hole of the door, and my bowels were moved for him. I rose up to open to my beloved, and my hands dropped with myrrh, and my fingers with sweet smelling myrrh
Go ahead.
upon the handles of the lock." Keep going.
Yeah.
It says, "I opened to my beloved, but my beloved had withdrawn himself."
Now you can jump down to verse 13.
God. I'm at
But we
verse-
go to him, he had hand moisturizer. He had sweet odor. He had Bath and Body Works before. It was Bath and Body Works. You know, go ahead.
Verse 13. "His cheeks," it says, "his cheeks are as the bed of spices,
It was what?
are as the bed of spices,
Go ahead.
as sweet flowers. His lips like lilies, dropping sweet smelling myrrh."
And he had the lip balm. He had a thing going on. Jake don't put lip balm on, man. I just lotion. No, brother, get some lip balm, some bird's beeswax, or whatever. It's do you good. Go ahead.
Verse 14.
That's right.
"His hands are as gold rings set with the beryl. His belly is as a bright ivory overlaid with sapphires."
Now, I'm gonna show you some, a contrast. You can go to Leviticus 14 and 33. Bring it out. You know, so we see, the nature of Jacob in the scriptures and how they behave themselves, wash themselves, their hygiene. We also see the heathen. So let's get an account of the heathen and how they conduct themselves and even in their household. Go ahead.
Leviticus 14 and 33.
And I got a quick point. Esau, they don't wash their cats. If they have certain animals, they don't wash them. You gotta wash your cat. They say, nah, it licks itself.
Yeah, I was about
Dogs,
to
it lick
They
itself.
say cats take care of themselves.
That's wrong. You have to wash your cat. Go ahead.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapters 14, verse 33. "And the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, When ye be come into the land of Canaan, which I gave to you for a possession, and I put the plague of leprosy in a house of the land of your possession, and he that owneth the house shall come and tell the priest, saying, It seemeth to me that there is as it were a plague in the house."
And they really already had that plague of leprosy. They was unclean. They was dirty. They was dingy. Go ahead.
That's a good point. Verse 36. "Then the priest shall command that they empty the house before the priest go in, and it says go into it."
Hey, that land was nasty. They were sacrificing idols. Lord knows what they was doing in their houses. They just let the mold grow. They had no order. Go ahead.
It's a spirit when you got that damn mold and mildew in your house. It's got that icky feel to it.
You feel icky.
Yeah.
God.
Gross. Go ahead.
It says before the priest go into it to see the plague, that all that is in the house be not made unclean. And afterward the priest shall go in to see the house.
So these are the house inspectors, right? And they examined the house. And now even on the spiritual level, you have to examine your house. Is your household clean? Is everybody doing what they should? You know, you gotta make sure, you know, your son or your daughter doesn't have a bracelet of the heathen on, any type of attire of the heathen. You gotta make sure they washing up like a true Israelite should, not like the heathen. You know? A heathen will wash himself up in the name of Allah, the rock. You know? And Lord knows how, embracing that rock.
Embracing that rock for
Yeah.
shelter, yeah.
See, so them that rock cleans them.
That's the Islam touch.
But Yahweh Shai, hey, he's our word. You know, and he cleanses us. So, brother had a point, precept?
I don't got a point, and I want to bring up my precept. You straight?
Yeah, he first. Yeah, he had it.
Alright, Exodus 33. Exodus 30 and verse, and start at, verse 18.
You pulled that earlier.
Y'all did?
Yeah, I pulled
Alright, y'all
that.
bring him.
Come on, give me Psalm chapter 51 with a precept.
You got a video or something? Oh yeah, I wanted to read that.
Oh, God.
You had
Yeah.
a point though?
No,
Or a video or something?
yes.
How long was the video?
No, I ain't got it.
Bro, you want it?
Bro,
Salaki, how long is the video?
No,
God, alright, come on. Bring this out.
Oh, Salaki. It ain't showing the full thing.
Yeah, you gotta.
Yeah.
It say, what religion does not use deodorant? This is a particular problem on the Shabbat. Judaism holiest day running from sundown on Friday to sundown on Saturday. Orthodox Jews are forbidden from doing anything that's considered work, even using deodorant. That's madness. I get a precept.
Read that last part.
Give me Ecclesiastes 7:16. It say, and that makes Sabbath prayers in packed synagogues a very smelly affair. Right? Very
The
smelly.
Lord is in his
Give me
temple.
Ecclesiastes 7:16. What scriptures say we can't use deodorant on the Sabbath, man? See, this is why they have no business with our scriptures. Because they don't know what's going on. They so over righteous and
Right.
give me Ecclesiastes 7:16. That's folly.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, and verse 16.
Wow.
Be not righteous over much.
What the Bible say?
Be not righteous over much.
What the Lord say?
Be not righteous over much.
Be not righteous over much. These Amalekites, they don't know about this scripture, right? Because they don't get deep into this Bible like the Lord blessed us to do, right? Because this is our book, right? We understand the spirit that's on the book, man. Bring it out, Cain.
Neither make thyself overwise. Why shouldest thou destroy thyself?
So they destroying themselves, man. Now in the synagogue smelling like damn onions, man.
Right.
Right? All hell breaking loose. You kind of like throwing up a prayer. You just kind of throw you off, man. You know, it take you off the spirit, man. Not that the spirit is there, but that's off. So I didn't even know this, man. This is crazy.
Yeah, it's deep. I didn't know that last one. Wow.
Let's see what go down. See what the Muslims do. You know, Ishmael. You know, they might. You know, let's see. Do Muslims use deodorant? Self-grooming, aside from being as clean, purified as they are for prayer, male Muslims are expected to refrain from cutting their nails and trimming their hair and beards. They must also not wear any scent, including deodorant. Wow. Now you gotta have your beard, you gotta grow your beard out. You know, they get that from the law. You know what I'm saying? But as far as
I gotta pull this out.
you gotta cut your
I gotta
nails,
pull this
man.
out for Muslims.
Can I say this? You gotta cut your nails as well, man.
I'm
You
gonna
don't
ask
have your
you,
nails
you wear
down.
deodorant?
Your nails can be
Yeah, your nails counted down. You know, jammed up.
jamming up the children.
Yeah, you got the dirt in your nails, and you got this, you know, what you ate last night all up in your nails.
Here it is, another one. Asians.
Let's see what these Moabites. It say, do Asians need deodorant? The frequencies of the A and G allies vary markedly across different ethnic groups. The Eli is very common in East Asians, and as expected, most people in this population do not use deodorant. And so they don't use it. It's estimated that only 7% of East Asians regularly use deodorant. You can't make this stuff up, man.
93% of them stinks.
You can't make this stuff up. You got a precept?
You train your body.
2 Samuel 10:6.
2 Samuel 10:6. Wow. I didn't even know all this, man.
This is the book of 2 Samuel,
Bro, it's
chapter
another
10,
one.
and verse 6. And it says, and when the children of Ammon saw that they stank before David,
They did what?
that they stank before David, that they stink before David, the children of Ammon sent and hired the Syrians
Wow.
of Beth-Rabbah.
Wow. It said they stink before David. Give me Judges 3:17. Let's get another stinky Moabite.
You said Judges what?
Judges chapter 3 verse 17. It said they stink before David. Yeah. That's physically and
I know
spiritually.
David, like, what the hell going on, man?
Yeah.
That's funny as hell.
Like, take them to the gulag and put them in some water.
They was finished. Bring this out. Judges 3:17.
This is the book of Judges, chapters 3 and verse 17.
That's fucking shit.
And he brought the present unto Eglon, king of Moab. And Eglon was a very fat man.
He was a what?
He was a very fat man.
So he was a very fat man. He didn't care about his health. All he did was eat. Bring it out.
And it says in verse 18, and when he had made an end to offer the present, he sent away the people that bare the present. But he himself turned again for the choirs, right, that were by Gilgal, and said, I have a secret errand unto thee, O king, who said, keep silence. And all that stood by him went out from him. And Ehud came unto him, and he was sitting in a summer parlor, Salakia, parlor,
Yeah.
which he had for himself alone. And Ehud, right, said, I have a message for God unto thee, from God unto thee. And he arose out of his seat, and Ehud put forth his left hand, and took the dagger from his right thigh, and thrust it into his belly.
He did what?
And thrust it into his belly.
And so he stabbed him up, man. He thrust this dagger into his belly. Read on.
And the half also went into it says, and the half also went in after the blade, and the fat closed upon the blade.
And the fat closed. That's how fat he was. The damn fat closed upon the blade and
Couldn't get it out.
couldn't get it out. He's struggling with it. Blood everywhere. And read on.
So that he could not draw out the dagger out of his belly, and the dirt came out.
And the what?
And the dirt came out.
And the what?
And the dirt came out.
And the dirt came out. So his dirt came out his belly, man. How dirty do you have to be for dirt to come out your belly? You know, very dirty. You understand? So, hey, these are these Moabites, these Ammonites, these nations. They're filthy, man. You had a point, brother?
Look, precept.
God.
Just to expound off that. This 2 Samuel 19 and 24. It says that Mephibosheth, the son of Saul, came down to meet the king and had neither dressed his feet, nor trimmed his beard, nor washed his clothes. From the day the king departed until the day he came again in peace. So they ain't trimmed it said they don't trim their beards or none of that. Mephibosheth was on the same type of time as men all. But it was the other reason behind it.
Yeah, they beards stink.
Take care of yourself, man. Trim your beard. You know, don't be walking around with rusty, decrepit beard.
I see. And these oils that these Muslims sell, they don't even use it, man.
Nah. I've been around a lot of them. They don't cut their nails. They be like this long.
Yeah, that's sick.
They got another one for the Italians. They wear deodorant. After you bring that.
Italians.
Yeah.
They do.
They don't.
I just flipped to one.
You guys.
That's the spirit.
They use
Maccabees
it.
9 and 10.
Second Maccabees 9 and 10.
The heathen being stinking.
They know we use deodorant.
9 and 10. Second Maccabees.
They know we use it.
That's a curse to be stinky.
Boy,
You just can't get it off.
they put African.
Con. This is the book of Second Maccabees, chapters 9 and verse 10. And the men that thought a little before he could reach to the stars of heaven, no man could endure to carry for his intolerable stink. So, like, let me read that. I'm going off, way off. Right? This Second Maccabees, chapters 9 and verse 10. And the man that thought a little before he could reach to the stars of heaven, no man could endure to carry for his intolerable smell. Keep going.
You can start verse 5 for real.
And that's good. Yeah, you can start at verse 5.
That's where it get bad.
Verse 5.
Yeah.
God. I'm at verse 5. It says, but the Lord Almighty, the God of Israel, smote him with the incurable and invisible plague.
Incurable, invisible. Go ahead.
For as soon as he had spoken these words, a pain of bowels that was it says remediless, Slakia, remediless came upon him, and sore torments of the inner parts.
Yeah, no remedy to it. His inside stuck. You got it.
And that the most justful, for he had tormented other men's bowels, which many and strange torments. Howbeit nothing at the, it says howbeit, right? Howbeit he nothing, right, at all ceased from his bragging.
Real quick, he say he tormented other men's bowels, man.
Yeah.
So what he,
Make man throw up.
you know, you got it.
You got certain conditions where your insides really do stink and it seeps through. You got it.
God. It says in verse 7, howbeit he nothing at all ceased from his bragging, but still was filled with pride.
That's off. He was prideful and stinky. That's a bad combination. You got it.
Breathing out fire in his rage against the Jews.
Oh, go ahead. He's that dragon.
God. And commanded to haste the journey. But it came to pass when he fell down from his chariot.
See, he fell down from his chariot, man. So he all the way jammed.
Yeah, he a dummy.
Yeah, and Esau be jamming themselves up. They be falling down on the job, you know, tearing they damn ACL, hitting their heads, scattering all their bones.
Three
They be
stooges.
You know, you got it.
It says, but it came to pass that he fell down from his chariot, carried violently, so that having a sore fall, all the members of his body were much pained.
Go ahead.
And thus he that a little afore thought he might command the ways of the sea. So proud was he beyond the condition of men.
Oh my gosh. Go ahead.
And
See,
wait,
every member. That's literally everything when your body hurts. Your head, your arm, your leg, your toes.
That was a hard fall.
Yeah, that was a hard ass fall. Go ahead.
and weighed the height. It says, and weighed the high mountains in a balance, was now cast on the ground and carried in a horse carried in a horse litter.
Right?
Right, showing.
Wait. And you know what? And we know horses carry. You know, the roads is bumpy babies, so you gotta feel all that pain. Go ahead.
It says, showing forth unto all the manifest right power of Yahweh, so that the worms rose up out of the body of this wicked man.
And that's a real thing. You might have bot worms. Go ahead. Or bot flies.
Damn.
Can you Google a bot fly?
A who?
A bot fly. Animals be getting that. We got worms coming out of them.
I also seen a
A BOT fly?
Also seen a man. He was eating pork. He got jammed up with eating pork, and then parasites arose in his body. And he had damn maggots in his brain.
You gotta go to images. They be coming out of animals a lot, but they can happen to people.
Yep.
See that?
Yep.
It came out of him. You got a fly come
My
out.
man had a worm in his eye.
Ooh, good. Some nasty shit.
Hey, this man had worms coming out of him.
Ugh.
God. That's
Kind.
crazy.
You can go ahead.
God.
So this man was rotting from the inside.
Look at this.
I got a quick precept on that. It pertains to this. It's the book of Job.
Ouch.
Right? And not that Job had worms coming from his body, because he did.
Oh,
But this is more so spiritual. But nonetheless, man had worms coming from their body, man. It's Job chapter 5, 7 verse 5. My flesh is clothed with worms and clods of dust. My skin is broken and become loathsome. Right? So this is all spiritual, but hey, it can still apply to the physical. Man can have damn worms coming from his body, dirt, and all type of diseases.
All right.
Y'all should jam.
Real quick.
Psalm 38 and 5, through the Spirit, just like, you know, with Job. It said, my wounds stink and are corrupt because of my foolishness. I am troubled and bowed down greatly. I go mourning all the day, because, you know, he's in great distress because of all that the Lord brought upon him. It says, for my loins are filled with a loathsome disease, and there is no soundness in my flesh.
Hey, that's what Jacob said to his sons. He said, you made me stink among the inhabitants of the land.
Right.
You go ahead.
Yeah, so, and real quick, that was also spiritual.
Yeah.
Right? It's not literal.
Yeah, spiritual.
Yeah.
That's just proof that smelling bad is something not good amongst the Hebrews.
Yeah, it's negative.
He made me stink, man.
Yeah. It's making me stink in the line.
It just applied the carnal sense of what dude was actually going through the antibiotics. His wounds literally stink.
Yeah, he literally was going through it.
I believe when frogs died in Egypt, they created a stink in the line.
Yeah,
You
the
know?
fish when they died in the waters.
He made it
Yeah, the
stink.
fish, right? Fish when they died in the water. You know.
God, keep going.
God.
2 Maccabees chapters 9 and verse 9.
Bring that out.
So that the worms rose up out of the body of this wicked man. And whilst he lived in sorrow and pain, his flesh fell away, and the filthiness of his smell was noisome to all his army.
They ain't want to deal with. They ain't want to be around
Hey
him.
man, you smart guys. Oh man, you smart officers. Yeah, man. I don't want to say nothing. You say something. Where we go? You got it.
It says, and the man that thought a little afore he could reach to the stars of heaven, no man can endure to carry for his intolerable stain.
God, his head all up.
Go ahead.
Here therefore being plagued, he began to leave off his great pride, and to come to the knowledge of himself by the scourge of Yahweh, his pain increasing every moment.
He's still not gonna make it, but you know,
Lord gave him some.
he noticed, he acknowledged it, but he's still a heathen. He's still on slavery.
In the book of Daniel, chapter 4 and verse 33.
Oh, play
That's what
that.
the Lord did to Nebuchadnezzar, man.
Disease started to come out of his body.
Yeah,
Verse 12.
and that's sick.
You said 4 and 33. You said 4 what?
Daniel chapter 4 verse 33.
Went out bad.
Yeah, Alexander got jammed up as well, man. You know, so, from a sickness. You know, so a lot of these Edomites, they unclean, they dirty, they filthy, and they be catching diseases, man.
That's where diseases come from.
You know,
They came over here with all them diseases off the boat.
right?
Having sex with animals.
That's right. Yeah, real quick. Get Daniel chapter 4 verse 33.
It's Daniel chapter 4 and verse 33.
Bring that up.
Right.
It says, the same hour was the thing fulfilled upon Nebuchadnezzar. And he was driven from men and did eat grass as oxen.
Right, so this man was driven from, because he was proud. Right, so the Lord brought this man down to his lower state. So he was driven forth from man, read on, and he said he did eat grass like ox. Read on.
And did eat grass as oxen. And his body was wet with the dew of heaven.
Your body all wet with the dew of heaven. You're outside. You're sleeping among the wilderness. All hell breaking loose. Right? Read on.
Till his hairs were grown like eagle's feathers, and his nails like bird's
It
claws.
says his hair was grown like eagle feathers. Right? So yeah, he was real hairy. All his hair everywhere. And his nails like damn eagle claws. And eagle claws are long, man.
Sure, they got
You know, they sharp, they long, they yellow. You know, so this man wasn't cleaning himself when he was in the wilderness. Right? He turned into a damn eagle, man. Right? You got it.
And it says in verse 34, and at the end of days, I Nebuchadnezzar lifted up my eyes unto heaven, and mine understanding returned unto me. And I blessed the Most High, and I praised and honor him that liveth forever.
Right, that's it on that. Give me Revelation chapter 19 and verse 7. Revelation chapter 19 and verse 7.
This
Right,
book-
so we just going into different accounts, you know, of different men that was judged by the Heavenly Father with certain sicknesses and stinks, right? But nonetheless, the righteous men of the Lord, hey, we got to be clean. We got to have on white garments. We got to have on that myrrh, that frankincense. You know, this is plain upon tables. This is milk 101. Wash yourself,
God.
right? Bring that out, King.
Is Revelation chapters 19 and verse 7.
Right?
Let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him. For the marriage of the Lamb is come, and his wife have made herself ready.
His wife have made herself ready. How do a wife make herself ready, man? Right? She cleaning herself, she bathing, you know what I'm saying? She's soaking in that frankincense, that myrrh, all type of spices. Right? She putting on that beautiful dress, things of that nature. She putting on that white garment. Read on.
To her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen, clean and white.
Clean and what?
Clean and white.
Clean and white. Right? It feel good. You got on the all white, got the white crispy tee on. You know, you feel good about yourself, man. You got the white Air Force Ones on, you know.
Yep, my white t-shirt.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You feel clean. You got it.
For the fine linen is the righteousness of the saints.
But a fine linen is the righteousness of the saints, man. You also got to wash your clothes and things of that nature, but we're going to get to that. You got it.
I had the spiritual aspect of that. If you go back to Song of Solomon 5 and 3.
You got it?
Except for Leviticus 15.
Yeah, I want to bring that all back so I pulled up on it.
Oh, let's skip over this.
Man, these laws are perfect.
This Song of Solomon, chapters 5 and verse 3. I have put off my coat. How shall I put it on?
Right, that's just talking about putting away your old garment, put on that white garment. That's
Yeah.
right. Keep reading.
I have washed my feet. How shall I defile them?
And as Isaiah 1 and 16, washing our ways.
Yeah.
Putting away the old rules of our way.
Right.
Right. Keep going.
That's it on that.
Con. Beautiful precept. Get Leviticus 15. So this is laws about uncleanness.
point on that too.
We had a point in Leviticus 15. Get Leviticus chapter 15 and verse 1. We're going to start at the first verse. This is laws about uncleanness. The laws of the Lord are perfect, converting the soul.
Some of the laws, because you got dead bodies and different stuff. Touch on.
You got a lot of laws on uncleanness, man.
Leprosy is just a disease. So basically, you kind of unclean.
Skin disease.
Different skin diseases.
You got it.
We have 15 to 1.
Okay. Leviticus chapter 15 and verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When any man have a running issue out of his flesh, because of his issue, he is unclean.
Right, that's why I wanted to touch on this issue. Now, issue, we look it up going into the Hebrew, right? It's going into pretty much a discharge, right? So, I mean, we all adults here, so, I mean, kind of got some things going on with them, man.
STD.
STD. That's in the Bible. Right, so that basically a man, he kind of got a discharge coming out his joint, man. Right? That's what this is talking about. That's what the issue is. It's a discharge. That's why when it says a woman, she has an issue of blood, because she's having a discharge of blood. And that's coming out her private area. Same with a brother. So it's coming out of his rod, man. The issue. Kind of got some green, some yellow, whatever's going on. It's issuing out of his Yeah, it's rod leaking, man. That's literally what this is talking about, right?
Man.
Right, bring it up.
You got it?
Damn, bring it up.
Verse 3. And this shall be his uncleanness and his issue, wherewith his flesh run with his issue. Or his flesh be stopped from his issue, it is his uncleanness.
See that? So that's pretty self-explanatory. This man is leaking, man.
That would, yeah. It's a lot of sicknesses out here, man. And especially among these homosexuals, these sodomites.
You had that.
In that aspect, Israel is filthy, man. In that aspect, man, of discharge and STDs and all kind of sickness.
Israel got a lot of that.
Israel got that, man.
When you look at those commercials, we the main ones that's viewing there.
Yeah.
If you have some AIDS, it'd be like AIDS commercial or like herpes commercials.
With the two Jakes.
You got the two Jakes.
With the beard.
That was always the two Jakes.
It's always a Jake with a beard too, man. Freaked out.
I take so and so. Now I know I can live my best life.
Yeah.
Damn. See that? Bring it up, man. That's utter madness, bro.
It says in verse 4, every bed whereon he lieth that hath the issue is unclean.
I mean, that's for obvious reasons. You kind of lying down, but you got some stuff coming out, man. Kind of unclean bed now, right, Rich?
Yes.
And everything whereon he sitteth shall be unclean.
Right, everything you sit on, lay on, it's all unclean, right?
Got it all over the bed, couch. It got a smell to it.
You got stains on the couch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if we look up a discharge out of your rod online, they gonna say go to the clinic.
Yeah.
Google it right now. They gonna say you should go to the clinic.
They gonna put a shot in you. They gonna give you a shot.
Yeah.
They gonna say
Oh, hell go break loose.
Yeah.
So this man is basically has an STD.
Take some medication. You know what I'm saying?
That's why the law is perfect though, because this is even in the Bible. People know that Christians they don't know this in the Bible.
Right.
Right, they never read this verse. They have no idea.
They say the law is done away with, so you could be a homosexual according to Christianity. So you can do whatever. You could freak off, catch diseases, sicknesses. They say God's still gonna love you.
And this is the way of the Lord saying you basically can't spread disease, because while you unclean, nobody can really deal with you. So this man, he gotta kind of be afar off. Right, that's what it means. He's separate. Everything he sit on, lie on, right? You keep reading.
Verse 5, it says, And whosoever toucheth his bed shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even.
Right.
And he that sitteth on anything whereon he sitteth, right, that have the issue, shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even.
Right, you say you gotta wash your clothes. You got fullers in the Bible, right? They actually wash clothes. Right, keep reading.
And he that toucheth the flesh of him that have the issue shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening.
You can't even touch this man. You got this damn STD, right? Read.
And it says, And if he that have the issue spit upon him that is clean, then he shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening.
It could be contagious, man.
Yeah.
From your saliva. Right. That's just
wicked.
This is nasty, man.
Yeah.
Whoa, man.
But you had men that had these type of things, dealing with, all type of harlots and freaks. Right? Because you had harlots in the ancient world, man.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think they had sicknesses and diseases? Jake wanted to deal with the nations. And we just read about the nations, and we just pulled them information up on the nations. They don't clean themselves. They don't bathe. They don't use deodorant. Right? They subject to all type of sicknesses and diseases.
That's all I needed, though.
That's trifling, man.
To get spit on. And some spit, majority of the spit be having blood in it too. Because, when you brush your teeth, some people, when they brush their teeth, they gums be bleeding and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You see that happen because you want floss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you gotta see what else in there.
Yeah, that's spit. That's very, very nasty, man. To spit on someone. That's the greatest, one of the greatest forms of disrespect and odiousness.
And New Moons, I'm sure you had in the ancient world, you couldn't drink out of another man's vessel. If you did by accident, like one brother that had that disease, you're finished.
Yeah. And, Israel kind of do that by default, man.
What cup is this?
What cup is this? If you don't know what cup it is, you gotta just deal with it. Well, you gotta just throw that thing out, man. You don't know what cup it is, bro.
Just wake up, you got a big bump right there. Swollen.
Got a bum bum.
Your bump got a bump.
And now you jammed up.
Yeah.
Double dipping.
So it's all
Right? Israel always had that spirit. No double dip. You know what I'm saying? No.
Yeah.
We ain't just drinking out each other vessels, man. Might do the waterfall. You know what I'm saying? But, that's the truth. That's what Israel do. Yeah, Jake don't put their lips on it. That's all. With that, you gotta keep reading.
I'm at verse 9. Yeah, verse 9. It says, and what saddle soever he rideth upon, that have the issue shall be unclean.
Yeah, well, even his animal, man, he kind of riding on the saddle, Now you jamming the saddle up, man. Now your donkey got, something on it, man.
Yeah, that's all.
It's not caring for the beast.
Yeah, that beast got, come on, man. Yeah, it's not caring for the beast. Now the beast got to smell that and be subject to those conditions.
Yeah, because they say that sometimes that discharge got an odor, man.
Yeah.
You look into these STD.
Yeah, 99% of the time it has an odor.
That's wicked, man.
Alright, you got it.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Verse 10.
Come on.
And whosoever toucheth anything that is under him, right? It says, and whosoever toucheth anything that was under him shall be unclean until the evening. And he that beareth any of those things shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening.
It's the Lord dealing with hygiene. You can't touch the saddle, you unclean. You can't touch that dude, anything you sit on, lie on. Basically, you finished, man.
Yeah, that's real.
Right?
Got it.
And whomsoever he toucheth that have the issue, and have not rinsed his hands in water, he shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening.
Who told you to wash your hands?
Yeah, you gotta wash your hands, man.
Yeah.
That's where that saying cleanliness comes from godliness from. They don't say it precisely, but that's kind of
They say cleanliness is next to godliness.
Yeah,
That's true. The priest had to be clean to do the work.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Lord is dealing with cleanness, man. The Lord ain't dealing with filth, because filth is associated with wickedness.
Yeah.
And evil.
It is though.
Why the hood always it's filthy everywhere. You got broken glass, you got chips, you got
Like miles, roaches.
Yeah,
We was talking about this yesterday, man. This hygiene, your diet, man, can be filthy too, man. It's a spirit behind it.
I just seen some stuff doing groundskeeping, man.
Yeah, some stuff can't be mentioned.
Yeah, I'm not gonna mention it.
Yeah, you be needles and all that in the hood.
All type of needles.
Bags.
Yeah.
What's next?
Right.
Keep going.
God.
Verse 12.
Oh,
And the vessel of earth that he toucheth which have the issue shall be broken, and every vessel of wood shall be rinsed in water.
You can't even eat. You can't even drink out of a vessel. You gotta break it.
done.
I mean, you basically an outcast at that point.
Yeah, until that issue get resolved.
Yeah. It says, and when he that have an issue is cleansed of his issue, then he shall number to himself 7 days for his cleansing, and wash his clothes, and bathe his flesh in running water, and be clean.
See that? So after finally, however long you was leaking, whatever happened, you got healed. Now you gotta wait 7 days to be clean, right? And it's like that with the sisters, but they just automatically got 7 days because that's a reoccurring thing. But brother, so if you got an issue for them 3 months, you just jammed up for 3 months, man.
You missed all the new moons, all the solemn assemblies.
Got this discharge going on. I wonder how they did it. Like I kind of got this discharge going on.
You can't be
Got
around
an issue.
You can't be around your children, your wife, nobody, man.
Can't have kids.
Yeah, you can't deal with your woman.
Definitely can't deal with your woman.
You can't deal with. I mean, you finished.
She might, you know.
You can pass
might wanna
that thing.
separate, man, after that.
Right. You gotta say I got a discharge. That's off, man.
She might want to kind of get out of there, man. You got it.
Come on, verse 14. And on the 8th day he shall take to him 2 turtle doves and 2 young pigeons, and come before the Lord unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and give them unto the priest. And the priest shall offer them, the one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him before the Lord for his issue. And if keep going.
Yeah.
It says, and if any man's seed of copulation go out from him, then he shall wash all his flesh in water and be unclean until the evening.
Now this, of course, is going into semen, man. You gotta say it straight like that, man. Your seed of copulation is going into when you deal with your woman.
Yeah, when you have sex with your woman, your
Sperm.
seed come out.
You gotta wash yourself, man, because you know
Look up this word.
you don't want to be just dripping around this thing.
Yeah, copulation.
No,
Copulation,
is what it is.
right? It's a sexual intercourse.
See that seed of that. I mean, we know what that is. So basically, you unclean it to the evening,
Right.
because that's, you know, not to say that's necessarily a nasty act, but you kind of defile yourself, and it's just not a comely spirit. That's why you can't do that on a Shabbat, because you gotta cleanse the Shabbat. You gotta sanctify it. So why would you purposely just make yourself unclean?
And you should want to clean yourself and wash after you do those things, man. That's just common sense.
Yeah, that's just natural, really.
Hey, get in the shower, man. Clean yourself. Get clean. You know what I'm saying?
Jesus fall asleep after. And just wait until the next morning. I'm too tired.
And also, you gotta wash yourself before even.
That's right.
All right.
Come on. Verse 17.
You got it, brother.
And every garment and every skin whereon is the seed of copulation shall be washed with water and be unclean until the evening.
Right. So you gotta wash that garment. You gotta wash them. You know them sheets. You know that seed of copulation is on it. And you have to be unclean until the evening.
Right.
And it says, the woman also with whom men shall lie with seed of copulation, they shall both bathe themselves in water and be unclean until the evening.
Right. So your wife also have to bathe herself. It's not just, the man go bathe himself, handle his business, and the woman just laying in the bed. No, she gotta bathe herself as well. Right? This is common courtesy.
Fluid.
And it says,
Yeah, pretty much.
Fluid, yeah.
God. It says in verse 19, and if a woman have an issue, and her issue in her flesh, it's like, let me reread that. It says, and if a woman have an issue, and her issue in her flesh be blood, she shall be put apart 7 days. And whosoever toucheth her shall be unclean until the evening.
This is going into the, of course, her menstrual, because if you look it up, that's why I say 7 days. Average. I'm gonna look up average menstrual cycle, how long it lasts. I think I tried to do this on the Monday reading, it didn't pop up.
Yeah, so the woman gotta take
I
care of
say every
herself
28
when
days.
she on her menstrual as well.
Nah.
You got some women, they don't give a damn, man. When they on their menstrual, they just kind of just doing what they do, man. Going off, man.
Yeah.
Kind of just,
Some, yeah.
still freaking off.
Yep.
Oh, vampires.
Yeah. Oh, what? you got it.
And it says in verse 20, And everything that she lieth upon.
Whoa.
Wait, I'm gonna read that.
No problem, no problem.
Okay. It says in verse 20, and everything that she lieth upon in her separation shall be unclean, and everything also that she sitteth upon shall be unclean.
All right, same thing, because she got the issue coming out, coming out her vaginal, man. Right. Keep reading.
And whosoever toucheth her, it says, and whosoever toucheth her bed shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening.
Right, so it's just like when the man has an issue, except, with the man, since you got a sickness, you got to kind of break whatever vessel you eat out of. It's not the same with women. It's just you unclean if you touch her or touch anything she lie and sit on, right? And that's basically it. So everything she touched isn't unclean, but everything she sit and lies on is unclean. I don't think we have to read the entire. Jump down to 25, though. I want to make a point with. I want to make a point with that.
Verse 25. And if a woman have an issue of her blood many days out of the time of her separation, or if it run beyond the time of her separation,
right,
all the days of the issue of her uncleanness shall be as the days of her separation. She shall be unclean.
Right, so basically, if this issue of blood lasts more than 7 days, then anything past that, she's still unclean. And after she's clean, she has to count 7 days, because that's a different kind of issue.
Yeah,
You're bleeding for 9 days, like, oh, what's going on? That's some kind of sickness.
That's a medical issue, right? And you also had a woman in the New Testament who was unclean for 12 years, man.
Yeah.
12 years. Just imagine that. You just keep running, you keep running, you keep running. That's hell right there, man. You're running, you're damn, and women tend to cramp as well when they're like menstrual, man. So you're running, you're cramping, you're all hell breaking.
Say that, go to verse 33 real quick.
You're nauseated.
I was watching this one video on YouTube, and it was this couple. I guess they, was having sex behind their parents' back and stuff. And the dude got the girl pregnant, and she was trying to hide it from her parents, so he paid for the abortion and stuff. And basically, right, she thought she was on her menstrual after that, but then again, after she went to the hospital, they was like, no, that's just the remains of the baby, like the blood coming out from the baby. So I'm like, as I was watching, I'm like, that's devilish as hell, that's wicked as hell. So basically, they killed the baby, and she was bleeding like a normal menstrual.
That was a baby.
So that could be another situation.
Yeah, like, a miscarriage. They could bleed longer than 7 days. Different stuff like that. But yeah, that's just sick right there. Jump to verse 32, because I want to make a quick point on what he just said with the cramping. The Lord said that.
Verse 32?
Yeah.
Verse 32, it says, this is the law of him that have an issue, and of him whose seed goeth from him, and is defiled therewith.
And read that part again, is defiled therewith.
It says, and of him whose seed goeth from him, and is defiled therewith.
That's just another cut, because they say that don't defile you having sex, and not you defiling the Sabbath. That's just another cut. Brothers can,
Yeah, that is a cut.
he literally said you're defiled. He literally just said that. So that's just another cut.
In the Sabbath. Certain brothers that do that and go to the whole congregation. Certain camps.
But you're defiled. I literally just said that. That's a cut.
The whole camp is done.
That is a cut. All right, keep reading.
It says in verse 33, and of her that is sick of her flowers.
That's sick of her flowers. Like you say, they be cramping. Some women throw up. Some women really go through it on their menstrual. They actually get sick. I just wanted to pull that to show that they be sick. But that's forms of uncleanness. When you're dealing with sex, STDs, the menstrual cycle, the Lord is about that cleanliness. Right?
Get Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 20. Right? Because you, that's going into the menstrual as well.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapters 30 and verse 20.
Right.
And it says, and though the Lord give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner anymore, but thine eyes shall see thy teachers. Keep going. Verse 21, and thine ears shall hear a word beyond thee, saying, this is the way, walk ye in it, when ye turn to the right hand, and when ye turn to the left. Ye shall defile also the covering of thy graven images of silver, and the ornament of thy molten images of gold. Thou shalt cast them away as a menstruous cloth.
As a what?
As a menstruous cloth.
As a menstruous cloth. So you got to cast away these idols like a woman would cast away that menstruous cloth, man. Right? So you know they bleed, you know what I'm saying? And I mean we ain't gotta get too deep, but you gotta cast away that cloth, man.
That's right.
And that's the spirit that showing that they had pads and cloth. They didn't want this wig in it and dirty.
Got the sponge.
Yeah, you gotta throw that stuff out, man.
That's off.
Kind of just letting it sit in your trash in the you know. You gotta throw that away, man. You gotta take that out the house, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta remove that, you know, from the body.
Yeah, move that without the, you know. So that's a good preset. I got a quick preset. I'm gonna read it. Genesis 31, verse 34. Just to show an example, it says, "Now Rachel had taken the images and put them in the camel's furniture and sat upon them. And Laban searched all the tent, but found them not. And she said, Let it not displease my Lord, that I cannot rise up before thee." Because he was hoary-headed, and it's the law, you got to rise up before the hoary head. "For the custom of women is upon me, and he searched, but found not the images." So she basically lied to him and said, you know, I'm on my menstrual. The custom of women is upon me. I can't rise before you. Right, so that's just to show that they knew these laws even before Moses came. They knew about the custom of women. She knew she had to rise before her father. Right?
Right.
Yeah, so that's that. So I want to.
And he couldn't really search under it either, man.
Exactly.
Would've been
Because he
unplanned.
sat on the camel's furniture, sat on the saddle.
Right.
So that whole thing just is a demonstration of the laws. Now,
Right.
what chapter is the dead body? Is that Numbers?
What's that? 19. Yeah. 19.
Yeah. So let's get Numbers. Is it 19? Yeah. Numbers 19 and 11.
God.
Right. Going into more being cleansed, man. Being clean.
God. This is the book of Numbers, chapters 19 and verse 11. "He that toucheth the dead body of any man shall be unclean 7 days."
Right, and that's just plain. And it's in the law. I gotta try to find it, but the high priest, they couldn't even go to their own mother's funeral, man. Right? Yep, because they because you would be unclean. The regular priests, they could go to their near kin, but the high priest, they couldn't even deal with anybody's funeral. The high priest, and if you were Nazarite, you can't deal with
Same thing with the Nazarite.
right? Because anybody that touch a dead body, you defile. Now people would have to touch a dead body, right? You would have to, because you got to deal with the burial. It's a certain burial that we did. You got to bury the body, or they'll wrap it up, and it's a whole ceremony that they did. So people have to touch it, but it's just an unclean act.
They even made it clean, you know, so-called, like, at least a sweet smell to it, you know.
Right.
That's what they did with Yahushua.
They embalmed.
19
That's also in Genesis, the 50th chapter.
And they had to give you sweet smells. That's in Chronicles with Asa.
Yeah, because the body was stink, man. Let me see
I got one real
time period of
I got a preset. 2 Chronicles 14. Nah. Is it 1 Chronicles there? I thought 2 Chronicles.
I got quick reset.
You can bring it out.
It's not 1940.
Is it Kings?
Alright, so this is the time period of decay. 24 to 72 hours after death. The internal organisms decompose. 3 to 5 days after death, the body starts to blot and blood containing foam leaks from the mouth and nose. 8 to 10 days after death, the body turns from green to red as the blood decomposes and the organs in the abdomen accumulate gas. That's that smell.
Yeah, 2 Chronicles 16 and 13.
They say that smell is horrible.
That
I
dead
never
body
smelled it personally, but they say that smell is kind of like, it's crazy.
probably smell like death.
They say you kind of can't get it out your nose for a couple of hours.
16:30.
You smell a dead damn possum or raccoon. That junk crazy. Dead animals.
Yeah, so
That
I'm
junk
much more
smell kind
dead
of crazy.
person.
Yeah.
Eat all kind of filth and got all kind of organs and, you know, that's kind of. So
That's
it
so
makes
crazy.
sense why you would be unclean. The
Dealing
laws
with
of
it.
the Lord are perfect. You got it.
Like, you got murders and stuff that's unsolved. People got to pick that body up. You know, that so-called forensics, man. Right, get Second Chronicles 16 and 13.
Goddamn serial killers out here, man. Serial murderers.
Yeah,
You had
they
these
had
men
that
in the ancient world.
yeah.
And then you had the heathen who they didn't deal with, a lot of the heathen didn't deal with burials. Like the Philistines, right? In 1 Samuel the 31st chapter. They hung Saul's body up to be displayed in the house of their God.
Serial stoners.
Right? You had to have a mighty men of Israel come get Saul his body from off the wall.
Yeah, so they was unclean.
It was for sure unclean. That was a mighty valiant act.
Kind of.
So it ain't necessarily a sin to be unclean, but you unclean.
Yeah, it's proper thing. Protocol once you're unclean. That's the thing.
Alright. Those are mighty men as well.
God, this is the book of Second
Going
Chronicles,
to dead bodies.
chapter 16 and verse 13. And Asa slept with his fathers and died in the 40th year of his reign. And they buried him in his own sepulchre, which he had made for himself in the city of David, and laid him in the bed which was filled with sweet odors and diverse kinds of spices, prepared by the apothecary's art. And they made and they made a very great burning for him.
Right, so that's a part of the ceremony. They wrap the body up. He'll be on the briar, right, which is an open casket. Then they'll do the burning for him. Right, you kind of see that in movies like Troy.
Yeah.
But they kind of burnt the body, but they all had their own kind of ceremony behind the death. So we'll burn, the sweet smells and then bury it.
God, I got 2 quick precepts. You can get Job 19 and 40.
So people was dealing with dead bodies.
Job 19 and 26.
Yeah,
And again, I got the other one, John 1940, the water.
Also with a tanner, who deal with unclean animals.
Yeah.
Or you can get leather.
He had to live afar off. You see that with Simon the Tanner. He kind of lived on the outskirts because he had an unclean job dealing with dead animals.
God. This is Job chapters 19 and verse 26. And though after my skin worms destroyed this body, yet in my flesh shall I see Yahweh.
Right, even Job understood. I mean, bodies stink after a while. After the brother brought up, like after 3 days, the worms kind of just have a feast.
That's why they got to get buried as well.
That's right.
And those worms, they decomposing you, but they eating at your flesh. You know what I'm saying? Get rid of your flesh. So you just bones.
Yeah.
It's perfect. You know what I'm saying? Perfect.
One more in it's like John 19 and 40.
Maggots.
Yeah. You had that one verse, he ate worms, the boogeyman.
Yup, he did.
Yeah, he was a Hamite.
Yeah, he's so high. Gotta be.
This is the book of John chapters 19 and verse 40.
Yeah.
Then took they the body of Yahweh Shai and wound it in linen clothes.
And wound it in linen clothes. Go ahead.
And wound it in linen clothes with spices, and as the matter of the Jews is to bury.
See, that was the manner of the Jews is to bury, like when you read in Sirach. You can't neglect the burial.
Yeah, and Yahushua was raised up, man. That his body didn't see corruption. That's in the scriptures and Psalms.
So get 1 Samuel chapter 31 and verse. I don't want to skip to the point really. Get verse 8. 1 Samuel 31 and 8.
This is the book of 1 Samuel chapters 31 and verse 8. And it came to pass on the morrow, when the Philistines came up to strip the slain, that they found Saul and his 3 sons fallen in the Mount Gilboa. Right? And they cut off his head. And they cut off his head.
Come on, that's off, man. You got cutting off his damn head. You got it.
And stripped off his armor.
Took off his armor.
And sent into the land of the Philistines round about, to publish it in the house of their idols among the people.
Right, so they put up his dead body in the house of their idols. Read on.
And they put his armor in the house of Asheroth, and they fastened his body to the wall of Bethshan.
That's madness. They fastened his body to the wall. That Jeepers Creepers spirit, man. Right? You got it.
And when the inhabitants of Jabesh Gilead heard of that which the Philistines had done to Saul, all the valiant men arose and went all night and took the body of Saul and the bodies of his sons from the wall of Bashan. and came to Jabesh and burnt them there.
So they had to kind of burn that body, man, because it was all jammed up.
Yeah.
It was all jammed up. It was freaked out. It was nails in it. It was bad. You know, you got to picture these things. You know, Saul was a wicked man. You know what I'm saying? So that was his burial. You got it.
And they took their bones and buried them under a tree at Jabesh and fasted 7 days.
Ooh, they fasted 7 days. That's mighty right there, man. They said, let's go on a fast. Let's go on a 7-day fast. You know, for what we just did. Because you're really not supposed to burn no dead body. And you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to be buried. We're not dealing with cremation. So they kind of went off for that. But, you know, that's why they fasted.
Precept.
You got it.
Did y'all bring out Genesis 50 and 26?
Blah.
Can I get Genesis 50 and 26 for edification's sake?
But we're not dealing with cremation.
This also happened to Abraham too. I mean, not Abraham, Jacob. But this is, you got it.
This is the book of Genesis, chapters 50 and verse 26. So Joseph died, being 110 years old, and they embalmed him. And they embalmed him, and he was put in a coffin in Egypt.
So coffins is a heritage of our forefathers too. It's not just something that's made up. So they embalmed us. They didn't stuff no fluids down on bro's throat and pull his organs out. No, they just wrapped him up in oil and buried him in a coffin in the ground. You understand?
There wasn't no such thing as an organ donor in the ancient world, man.
You would do with the organs, right?
Yeah, what you doing? You trying to take a man's organs out?
We need his heart. My heart.
Yeah.
Heart transplant spirit. He got a good brain, you know.
That's witchcraft.
Now the nations might have been into that, you know what I'm saying, but not the nation of Israel.
I'm sure the nations was into it. Yeah, we already in the hour and 30 in,
God.
Closing precept.
Yeah, so that's hygiene in the scriptures, man. Give me Jeremiah 4 and 14. You know, so we gotta make sure we clean, you know what I'm saying? Spiritually, physically.
God. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapters 4. You said 15.
4 and 14.
God. This is Jeremiah, chapters 4 and verse 14. O Jerusalem, wash thine heart from wickedness, that thou mayest be saved. How long shall thy vain thoughts launch within thee? For a voice declareth from Dan and publisheth afflictions from Mount Ephraim.
That was 4 and 14?
Yeah. Yeah, I brought out 14. I probably read it too quick.
God.
I'm gonna read it again. This is Jeremiah 4 and verse 14. O Jerusalem, wash thine heart from wickedness.
Do what?
Wash thine heart from wickedness.
You gotta wash your heart from wickedness, man. Wash your mind. Right? Clean your mind. Because it starts with your mind first, man. If your mind ain't right, nothing is gonna be right.
Sure.
You know, if your mind not intact, that's why the Lord, the scriptures say, you know, give me any plague but the plague of the mind. You know, you got the plague of the mind, you subject to a lot of spirits and just evil. You know?
Right, bro.
Yeah. You rather have a broken leg than a broken mind. If your mind broken, then I don't. Hey, brother.
Yeah, you kind of bugging out.
Yeah, you bugging out. You're seeing things that's not there.
You gotta kind of fight that spirit.
You know that schizophrenia. That's what Esau called it.
Shattered mind.
You seeing shadow creatures.
Scrambled
Mind scrambled eggs.
I gotta
Man.
close the precept for y'all.
What you used to say? Your mind is an omelet now, right?
You know,
I want to bring this out, Salaki, to go back to it, but this 1 Samuel 31 and 12. This is a Zonovan footnote, dealing with how the valiant men took the body of Saul and buried it. They say they took the body of Saul and his sons, the men of Jabesh Gilead, had not forgotten how Saul had come to their defense when they were threatened by the Ammonites. Right? It say burnt them. Cremation was not customary in ancient Israel, and here appears to have been done to prevent any further abuse of the body of Saul and his sons by the Philistines. They would have been persistent with it, man. Oh, they took the body. Let's go get it again.
Right.
Let's go dig it up and abuse it.
That's weird.
It was real sick, man.
Sick ass nations, man.
And these men was like, hey, man, you know, Saul looked out for us. Let's look out for this brother. Let's take him. Let's take his body. Let's look out for our brother, man.
God.
Even though he was off, still was a brother.
Right. Get 1 Peter, chapter 3:12.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't want to see none of my brothers have a messed up burial.
No, 3 and yeah, like 3 and 21, so like,
That's sad, bro.
yeah,
Your
yeah,
brother,
bury
your brother.
getting his body abused. What was they doing to the body though? That's all. God only, Howard knoweth, man.
Oh, yeah.
Howard knoweth,
This 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 21.
right?
The like figure whereunto even baptism doth also now save us.
Right,
Now the putting away of the filth of the flesh,
right. Not the putting away of the filth of the flesh, right? Going into baptism, right?
but the answer of a good conscience towards Yahweh.
Right, but that good conscience, man. That's really what it's all, symbolic for. The priests washing themselves, putting on new garments. It's all symbolic for that spiritual cleansing and changing of the garment, man. So we gotta spiritually and physically be clean, like the brothers brought out.
The last precept, 2 Thessalonians 2 and 13. For the memorial of Heavenly Father and what he gave us, man.
Okay.
2 Thessalonians 2 and 13.
This is the book of 2 Thessalonians chapters 2 and verse 13. But we are bound to give thanks always to Yahweh for you, brethren beloved of the Lord, because Yahweh have from the beginning chosen you to salvation through sanctification of the Spirit and belief of the truth.
We got to give thanks and all honor and glory to our Heavenly Father due to the fact He told us to wash our behind. He told us to be clean. And He also gave us this opportunity to even know who we are, man. And to even be allowed to breathe the air that He created for us, man. So we give all honor and glory to the Holy.
I got one more precept. Get the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6 and verse 9.
The heathen ain't got it. They don't got that basic
Yeah, the
understanding.
heathen ain't got the sauce, so to speak, man.
That basic understanding to wash up snake and behind, man.
Yeah, how you don't got that understanding? That's just total reprobate.
If you don't got that, you gotta get that.
That's common sense. We got babies that say wash up.
Yeah,
Wash
facts.
Washy wash? You're a grown man.
Cleaning up. My daughter be cleaning up, man.
Yeah,
Keep picking up stuff, throwing it in the trash. Say, God, bring this up.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 6 and verse 9. Unto you therefore, O kings, do I speak, that ye may learn wisdom.
You may what?
That ye may learn
You
wisdom
gotta learn the wisdom of the Bible. Read on.
and not fall away.
And not fall away, man. So if you don't want to fall away, learn the wisdom of the scriptures. Apply the scriptures. That goes for all of us, man. And also give me Wisdom of Solomon 6 and 25. You don't want to fall away, man. Most High will give you that plague of the mind, bug you out in outer darkness.
Because you're not washing up.
Because you ain't washing up physically and spiritually.
Verse 25. Receive therefore
Do
instruction.
what?
Receive therefore
You
instruction.
got to receive the instruction that's coming from the Bible. Basics instructions before leaving earth. Ain't that what they say? Hey, that's actually true though, man. You gotta give them to them. The Christians made that.
Hey, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's Jake.
Jake made it.
Yeah, Jake. Well, Jake is the real Christian. But you got it.
It says in verse 25, receive therefore instruction through my words, and it shall do you good.
It shall what?
And it shall do you
It
good.
shall do you good, man. It's gonna do you good when you apply these commandments and these laws. Right? Leviticus 15. Bathing after you do the thing. Right? That's gonna do you good, man.
Nothing wrong with that.
You know what I'm saying? Washing yourself so you don't stink that of filth.
Your brother's getting in the shower, man, and don't want to get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, facts.
Like, what the, who want to get out of the shower? Brothers be in the shower just daydreaming.
The shower is luxury, man. You feel good, man. You in the shower, it's hot, it's steaming. You know what I'm saying? Brothers love showers, man.
Nation's awful, man.
Brothers love
Why
showers,
the
man.
nations don't want to?
I get mad over that.
That's why I said we got to thank the Heavenly Father, man.
All praise to the Most High.
We Israelites, man.
And we're gonna need the Lord in Jacob's trouble. 100-fold, man. We ain't gonna be able to just go hop in the shower when we want to. Damn, water's gonna be jammed up. Might got some damn contamination in it. All hell gonna be breaking loose. So we're gonna really need the Heavenly Father, man. No, Esau don't really care about the shower thing. Jacob's trouble, they gonna be straight when it comes to that.
They don't care.
Chewing tobacco,
They
Go back to that animalistic mind.
they're going to turn into that baseball spread.
They
Chewing
gonna
that
be mad
tobacco,
about that.
spitting it
When it
out.
come to food, they're gonna be damn eating each other. When it come to shower, they don't give a damn about that because they don't bathe in the first place. You know what I'm saying? They gonna be kind of,
They gonna be back at home.
Yeah, they gonna be back at home, man.
Home for the back. You can grab Matthew.
They gonna survive a little bit, man. Off their animalistic nature. They gonna survive for a time. Jake will be done. Jake is finished. When Jacob's trouble, Jake is finished, man. That's why it's called Jacob's trouble.
In the nation, they gonna know how to do some stuff.
Yeah, the nation's gonna be.
The average Jake we see, who just walk past us. What to do when Esau cut off?
This Matthew chapter 26 and verse 6. Now when Yahushua was in Bethany, and the house of Simon the leper, there came into him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment,
So she had this precious ointment for Yahweh Shai. Go ahead.
and poured it on his head as he sat at meat. But when the disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, to what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for much and given to the poor.
They get mad at Yahweh Shai. It's smelling good. Looking good. Go ahead.
And that was actually Judas Iscariot as well.
Yeah,
They had an issue with that because he wanted to steal the money. So he always been a goon, man.
He had that spirit.
They tell you in another gospel, like
Talk about a
specific.
goon.
It was in his heart.
He always been a damn
Golden
rebel.
spirit.
Verse 10. When Yahushua understood it, he said unto them, why trouble ye the woman? For she hath wrought a good work upon me. For ye have the poor always with you, but me ye have not always. For in that she hath poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. Verily I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this, that this woman have done, been told for a memorial of her.
You know, that's fitting for this lesson, for this topic. 'Cause that was done spiritually and physically. You know, for great purposes.
That's right.
But with that, when it bid us or Shalom, Abba Ratzah, you've been edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh. Kwame Yeshua.
Kwame Yeshua.
Kwame Yeshua.
Kwame Yeshua.